Okay, so I have 6 examples for you. So let's go ahead and do that. Jump into the first one here. All right, so the first example looks like this. Negative 7x equals 6 minus 5x. Again, I'll keep writing these twice so I don't cross out stuff in what the original looks like, okay? All right, so unlike yesterday, let me first draw the line down the equal sign. Okay, so unlike yesterday, if you look on the left side of the equal sign, there's no like terms. There's only just this one term, negative 7x. Okay, and then also we check out the right side. There's no like terms here. This 6 doesn't have an x that 5 does. Right? There's no like terms for us to combine. Okay, but what we see is the x on both sides of the equal sign. Okay, so we can't just combine them like we did yesterday and do negative 7 minus 5. We're not going to do that. Okay, since they're on both sides of the equal sign, to move one of them, we have to do the opposite sign. Right? So the first thing I want to point out is this negative 7 out here. If I move this negative 7 over here, there's nothing left on this side of the equal sign. So I don't want to move the negative 7. The negative 5, if I move it, there's still the 6 left. So that's the one I want to move. Okay, so I'm going to write in your notes here. For this one, don't move. Okay, there's only one term. Okay, you don't want to move it because there's only one term there. You don't want to move that negative 7. Okay, so you want to move the negative 5. And we're going to do opposite sign in order to move it. So that 6 minus 5x, that minus, remember, means negative. So that's a negative 5x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 5x. Do the opposite sign and add 5x to both sides. Okay, so that negative 5 plus 5 for the x, that's gone. I just have this 6 left over. And on the other side, I have a negative 7 plus 5 for the x's. And negative 7 plus 5, okay, is negative 2x. All right, so now I just have a one-step equation. Okay, that's negative 2 times x. Right, negative 2x means negative 2 times x. Opposite of times is divide. I'm going to just divide by this negative 2. So I get x equals a negative 3. 6 divided by negative 2. Okay, and that's what you put in as your answer. Okay. All right, the second example I have for you. 4 plus 9y equals 5y. Again, 4 plus 9y equals 5y. Okay, so here's my equal sign. All right, now I got to determine which one to move. I'm going to move the 9, okay, because there's still a 4 left over if I move the 9. The 5, if I move it, there's nothing left over. So I'm going to write one more time here. Right, for this one, don't move. Okay, only one term. Okay, so we're going to move that 9y. It says plus 9y, so I'm going to do the opposite. Since I'm moving it across the equal sign, I'm going to minus 9y. Okay, so I'm moving that positive 9 because there's a 4 also on the same side of it. All right, so 9 minus 9 for those y's. It's gone, so I just have a 4 left over. And then on this side, I have 5 minus 9. Okay, 5 minus 9 gives me a negative 4y. Okay, and then the last step, I got to get the y by itself. That says negative 4 times y. Opposite of times is divide. Divide by that negative 4. So I get y equals 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 1. Okay, so y is a negative 1. do one more like this, and then we'll look at some different ones here. For number 3, I have this 2v equals negative 6 plus v. Okay, so again, 2v equals negative 6 plus v. Okay, so first thing is, draw a line down the equal sign. All right, so this one is the one I don't want to move. Okay, so I'm just going to write don't move here. Okay, it's all by itself. Okay, if I move it, there'll be nothing left on the left side. The other thing I want to pay attention to is this v here has a 1. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the 1 in front of that v. Okay, all right, so I want to move this 1v. It says plus 1v, so I'm going to subtract 1v on both sides. Okay, 2v minus 1v is 1v. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1v and v are the same. So I'll just write v. And I have negative 6. So v equals negative 6. Okay, you can stop there, but if you're, some students would like to write that 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, so they'll put the 1v. And notice that last step, you divide by 1, and you still get v equals negative 6. Okay, but if you realize that 1v and v are the same thing, you don't have to do that step. Okay. Okay, now for ones that look like this. All right, so you also see ones that look like this. 5 plus 3k equals negative 9 plus 5k. Okay, 5 plus 3k equals negative 9 plus 5k. Okay, so on ones like this, notice if I draw my line down the equal sign, both the k's, the 3k and the 5k, I can move either one of them. Move the 5k, there's still that negative 9 there. If I move the 3k, there's still that 5 there. Okay, so I'm gonna write on this one doesn't matter which k is moved. Okay, this one, it doesn't matter which one you move. Okay, so I can choose the 5k or I can choose the 3k. I always tend to choose the smaller k, the smaller variable, okay? If I subtract, so the smaller one here being 3 compared to the 5, okay? And that's because if I move the smaller one, I avoid having to divide by a negative in the end. Okay, so just divide by a negative gives you one last thing to think about, okay? So I'm gonna move the smaller 3k, okay? So it says plus 3k or positive 3k, so I'm gonna subtract 3k. Okay, and again, it wouldn't matter if I moved the 5k minus 5k minus 5k. In the end, I would get the same answer, but I'm gonna go ahead and decide to move the 3k. 3k minus 3k, 0. So I can cross that out. I just have a 5 left over on the left side. On the right side, I had this negative 9. And then I have a positive 5 minus 3 for the k's. 5 minus 3 is 2. Okay, so it's a positive 2, so I'll put plus 2k. Notice now I have a two-step equation, right? I got to get that k by itself, right? That says 2 times k. I would divide by the 2, but I want to do that last. Remember, you want to do the addition, subtraction stuff first. So I'm going to move that negative 9. It says it's a negative 9, so I'm going to plus 9 on both sides. Okay, so I have this 2k left over on the right side. 5 plus 9 is 14. And then the last step is divide by the 2. Okay, so I get k equals 14 divided by 2, which is 7. Okay. All right, I have 2 more for you. So let's do number 5. number 5 looks like this. 10h minus 9 equals 9h minus 1. Again, 10h minus 9 equals 9h minus 1. Up a little bit here. All right, let's draw the line down the equal sign. There are your h's, 9h and 10h. Again, this is one like number 4. You don't have to, it doesn't matter which one you move. Okay, they both have something left over, right? If you move the 10h, you still have the negative 9 left over. You move the 9h, you still have the negative 1 left over. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to move the smaller one here. And again, it doesn't matter. I could move the bigger one. I can move the 10, but I'm going to go ahead and move the smaller 9. That is a positive 9, okay? That minus goes with the 1. That's a negative 1. This is a positive 9. So I'm going to subtract the 9h. Subtract the 9h. Okay. 10 minus 9, that's 1. So I have 1h left over. 1h and h are the same. Okay. This is now gone, and on the right side, I have a negative 1. Okay, remember to bring down that negative or that minus. So I have h minus 9. Okay, so I'm going to add 9 to both sides. And I have here h equals 8. Okay, so h equals 8. And again, if you like to write the 1, 10 minus 9 is 1h. I would bring down the 1h. And if I divide by that 1, okay, I still get the same thing. H equals to 8. Okay. And then last one. One last one for good measure. 27 minus 5k equals 11 plus 3k. 27 minus 5k equals 11 plus 3k. Okay, so there's my equal sign. All right. There are my k's. They're on different sides of the equal sign. Notice on the left side, no like terms. I can't combine anything. The 27 doesn't have a k. The 5 does. On the right side, there's also no like terms. The 11 doesn't have a k. The 3 does. Okay. So I need to combine these k's by doing opposite signs because they're on different sides of the equal sign. Okay. Doesn't matter which one I move, but I'm going to move the smaller one. Right. That's a negative 5. A negative number is always going to be smaller than a positive number. So I'm going to move the negative 5. Okay, so I'm going to do plus 5k, plus 5k. So I just have the 27 left over. Bring down the 11. I have 8 plus 5, which is a 3 plus 5, which is a positive 8. So I have 11 plus 8k on that side. Again, a two-step equation. That 11 is a positive 11. So I'm going to subtract 11 on both sides. I have 16 equals, this is now gone. I have 8k left over. And then the last step, 8 times k, the opposite of times is divide. Divide by 8. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's no questions. I'll go ahead and give you your IXL. I've already started. For this IXL, I only need you to get to a score of 50 for completion, okay? So what happens is I add 30 points. Once you get to a 50, it's done, and then I add 30 points to whatever score you get. So if you get a 50, add 30, you get an 80 in the grade book, okay? If you make it up to an 80, okay, well, add 30 points, and it'll be 110. Okay, so whatever score you get, as long as you get to a 50, I'll add 30 points to. Okay, so for this one, if you make it all the way to 100, I'll add 30 and it'll be 130 in the grade book. Okay, so again, only 50 for completion. Let me go ahead and type in the IXL. It's IXL W11. So W11 and 50 for completion. Okay, the reason why I only need you to get to a 50, once you get to a 50, they throw other stuff in there than the ones that we've kind of done in the notes here. Okay, so I only need you to right now just to be comfortable with the ones that look like this. Okay, so just get it up to a 50. Okay, so if you got it to 100, I would add 30 points. And in the grade book, it would be 130 in the grade book, okay? In Infinite Campus. So whatever score you get, I'll add 30 points to, as long as you make it to a 50. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop share. Oh, I need to stop recording.